Hey, good morning, Pete, North Las Vegas. Finally got this finished up enough to where I can do a function check and test it out. It's a Criterion barrel, 18-inch. It's their hybrid, and that falls somewhere between like a medium and a heavy barrel contour. It's 1 in 8 twist wild, chrome chambered, and Aero precision handguard. This is a New Frontier Armory, upper and lower. They're a local company here. They actually have a brick and mortar store. They do their own machining. They don't have anybody do their machining and then, put their logo on them. They actually machine. And the guy I was talking to, he said they do some machining for some other OEM manufacturers. Although because of non-disclosure agreements, he wouldn't tell me who they are. He said I might be surprised who else New Frontier machines for, but that he couldn't say who they were. So then I was in there a couple weeks later and I talked to another guy, and he gave me basically the same story. So they all know they're not supposed to talk about it, but they all said pretty much the same thing, that I might be surprised who these guys, who else they machine for. So anyway, as far as fit and finish, no wobble, everything is snug, tight. The lower receiver does come pre-drilled and threaded and tapped for your tensioning lug if you want to put one of those in there. And this lower I bought complete from them and came with the B5 buttstock. And I've decided to run my burst on here because it's an 18-inch barrel and this is a 6-power. Is this the best LPVO on the market? No. Is it possibly the best for the price point, the money? Maybe, because at the price point, it's been pretty surprising to me. I got some higher, more expensive stuff, and this burst performs pretty well. Okay, so anyway, I've already made a couple videos during the build on this rifle, and I ended up having some bolt carrier issues on 3 different Aero Precisions. Each Aero Precision had its own little problem, and then they all kind of shared a common problem. The bolt carrier ran tight in this receiver, all 3 of them. One of them was really tight. So I tried the bolt carrier in different receivers and pretty much had the same issues. I did do some measurements on this upper receiver. It is a little bit on the tight side, but it's in spec. The minimum dimension for these upper receivers on the ID is 1 inch, and it came in pretty close to exactly 1 inch. So this upper receiver is a little bit on the tight side, but still, those bolt carriers should have ran in this receiver. So I ended up going with a Wilson Combat, and that bolt carrier, when I took it out of the package, there wasn't a scratch, a ding, an imperfection anywhere. I mean, it was probably one of the best looking bolt carriers that I've ever purchased, and I run quite a few different brands. So anyway, this bolt carrier runs nice and smooth and free. Everything head spaced beautifully. So main reason we're out here today is just to get these iron sights roughed in and do a function check on the rifle. And we'll be running this stuff here. So anyway, let's get after it. Okay, so for right now, I just made a windage adjustment, and we'll see where we're at there. And then I'll do the rest of the irons off camera. I don't want to bore you guys to death. Oh, so how does the 18-inch barrel shoot? It's pretty smooth. It's not bad at all. It's a little bit smoother than 16, and obviously not as smooth as a 20 inch as you might expect, but it feels pretty good. All right, I did not hold back on the last round. So we'll keep firing. Maybe just a break-in issue. Maybe I'll put a few more rounds through it. I'll clean it all up, put it back together. Okay, so after 10 rounds, it finally held open on the last round. Bolt held open. So just a little bit of a minor break-in issue. Like I said, I know that receiver is a little on the tight side. And okay, so when I first started firing the rifle, about the first 5 rounds, they were dumping out literally probably 3 or 4 feet from the rifle. And then the last few rounds, they were, the brass was dumping out over here. So I think a few more rounds and this thing will be completely reliable. I made some adjustments. I'm going to go a few more clicks to the right and up a little bit more, and then we'll call this good. I think I just need to come over about another 2 or 3 clicks on windage and come up about 3 or 4 on the elevation. Like I said, we'll do that off camera. Yes, that was my last 3 shots with irons, so I'm pretty close. I may come over a couple more clicks on the windage. Elevation's close enough. They're just backup sights. Something I forgot to mention was, being a brand new rifle, you always want to check your brass, which I did. I just forgot to mention it on camera. So all the brass looks good. There's nothing wrong with it at all. So the last set of rounds, the rifle held open again on the last round. So I think it was just running a little tight because it was brand new. Okay, so we got the irons pretty close. Moving on with the burris. Should be pretty close. I already kind of had it zeroed on another AR, so I don't expect to be off too far, but we'll see. All right, we held open. I could feel it. Okay, so those all hit down here on 1 power. So I'm going to get this out a little bit and we'll turn up the zoom on the scope and see how we do. Okay, we're on 6 power. We're at 50 yards. And I'm not out here today to really fine tune anything. More of a function check. But we'll see how we do at 50. That would be as soon as we load the rifle. All right, held open again. Let's go see what we did. Okay, I seem to remember zeroing the scope for 100 yards, so elevation's probably about right for 50. I'm not happy with that. I don't know what happened there. We're going to have to do at least a few more. Okay, so that was my last 2. There's a third one that went in here somewhere. Still not quite happy with this at 50 yards. That's a brand new rifle. I think maybe once I get it get the barrel cleaned up, get the rifle cleaned up, maybe get some better ammunition. We'll do a lot better. That's me. I'm the weak link here. Anyway, it's not the barrel. The barrel's, I can already tell the barrel's good. It's just me. Okay, so I took a few shots off camera. The last one I pulled. I mean, as soon as I pulled the trigger, I knew I screwed it up. But anyway, these are my last 3 shots. Those came in pretty close. Still not like really happy with that at 50 yards. But like I said, I'm not going to blame the barrel. It's a brand new rifle. Might need a little break-in. Once I get the barrel cleaned up and come back out here with some better ammunition, I think I can do some better results. But that's embarrassing. So anyway, I'd like to stay out here. I got out here right when the sun came up, and it's been up for a while. I think we're in the low 90s now, so I'm gonna pack it in. But anyway, overall, pretty happy with the rifle. Like I said, it's not the barrel, it's me. So Criterion gave me another straight shooter. I'm pretty much convinced of that. Rifle's a little picky and finicky about the first 6 rounds or so. It wasn't holding open on the last shot, but it's working perfectly now. So anyway, Pete, North Las Vegas, over and out.